When Mark Wahlberg strode into the Diddy Combs federal trial, a black leather satchel clutched to his chest, the courtroom air changed. Reporters stopped mid-scribble, cameras jammed, even the U.S. Marshals eased hands toward their holsters. Inside that satchel, Wahlberg insisted, was the flash drive Hollywood never wanted the public to see. A drive that could drag music royalty, fashion power brokers, and billionaire influencers into the light. Viewer discretion is advised. The allegations you're about to hear include coercion, hidden surveillance, and threats of deadly violence. All defendants deny wrongdoing and are presumed innocent until proven guilty. But if even half of what Wahlberg claims is true, the industry's most closely guarded vault just burst open. Ready? Let's rewind to the night the first tape was born and follow the fuse all the way to today's courtroom reckoning. Mark Wahlberg is many things. Former rapper, Oscar-nominated actor, devout Catholic, fitness brand mogul, courtroom star, witness, never. Yet on day 10 of Combs' racketeering and sex trafficking trial, Wahlberg took the stand before Judge Esperanza Reyes and skipped the formalities. "I'm not here to protect anybody," he declared, voice flat. "I saw something. I kept proof. Now people need to know." The statement detonated across social feeds within minutes, but inside the wood-paneled chamber it landed like a church bell at midnight. Even Combs' designer suit, jaw clenched, didn't interrupt. Wahlberg admitted he'd crossed paths with Sean at early 2000s fashion events, nightclub launches, and corporate endorsement gigs. Their public friendship, he said, soon came with invitations to private executive retreats. Phones surrendered at the door, non-disclosure agreements inked on the spot, security doubled. Business on the surface, something else underneath. With that single memory, Wahlberg dragged the jury back 17 years, to the night a candlelit lounge in the Hamptons became the setting for a memory he could never shake. But the real jaw-dropper wasn't the story, it was the hardware. From the satchel emerged a flash drive Wahlberg claimed he'd hidden in a Nevada storage locker, wrapped in thermal wrap next to childhood baseball cards. "Stored," he said, "because I figured if I'd ever talked, I'd need proof." The bailiff carried it to the judge. Court recessed while digital forensics confirmed timestamps and chain of custody. When the lights dimmed and the playback screen flickered to life, nobody coughed. On screen, Diddy, cigar in hand, velvet sofa, two blurred associates at his flanks, his voice. "They don't get to leave until we say so." The tape froze the gallery. Wahlberg never looked away. Combs stared at the defense table, stone still, end hook. That Hamptons after-party was only a teaser, because behind that one clip, prosecutors allege, sits an entire library color-coded, time-stamped, and weaponized for leverage. In sworn testimony, Wahlberg laid out the pattern. Early invites, looked like networking gold, luxury resorts, yacht excursions, art fair galas, but each retreat arrived with the same choreography. Phone drop, NDA, private security, cameras weren't allowed, yet cameras were everywhere. Combs would joke, "I film everything, that's my brand," as if the lens itself were harmless. It felt like insurance. Wahlberg told Assistant U.S. Attorney Kelsey Monroe. Combs bragged about memories caught on tape. "You don't need muscle," he once whispered. "You just need memories." The subtext, footage equals control. Diddy's lawyers later insisted all guests knew he documented events for future creative projects. But Wahlberg's gut said otherwise. His own hidden recording was born that August 2008 night when the vibe crossed a line. Intoxicated guests led down a corridor, altered voices ordering, "Get them in the room. I want everything on camera." He hit record, pocket cam rolling, and left the estate before dawn. He never attended another retreat. For 15 years, the drive slept in silver bubble wrap, until the morning Ashton Kutcher's testimony hit cable news, and Kylie Jenner's name surfaced in sealed filings. "That's when I knew I wasn't crazy," he told the court. Wahlberg captured one night. Prosecutors now believe Combs captured hundreds. The proof, a decrypted index buried in a folder called Cold Cases. Federal cyber forensics unearthed the partial directory in February 2025, while combing cloud backups seized from Combs' Holmby Hills mansion. The folder, cold_cases/velvet_axis, subfolders labeled by date, each with two-letter aliases and metadata tags. One line wasn't redacted. K. Jenner, Velvet Axis. Observed. Prosecutors showed the table on a 70-inch monitor. Jurors leaned forward as if gravity changed. Wahlberg confirmed he'd heard the term velvet used for high-profile guests expected to watch but not comprehend the cameras. Color codes graded power dynamics: velvet shielded celebrity, gold handler, white security, black cleanup. Why label at all? According to a leaked WhatsApp message dated the night Jenner visited Holmby Hills, got the footage. K looks good, gonna sit on this. The tapes weren't souvenirs, they were assets. Jenner's lawyers released a terse statement. Miss Jenner acknowledges attendance at a 2019 gathering hosted by Mr. Combs and is fully cooperating with authorities. She didn't deny being filmed. Industry gossip sites erupted. Luxury brand PR departments scrambled. Wahlberg, meanwhile, reminded the court of a chance backstage encounter 2 years later when he overheard Combs brag, "She was never supposed to be caught on cam. We claimed it, but I still got the originals." In Wahlberg's telling, leverage wasn't a last resort, it was the business model. If the guest list was strategic, the house itself was a machine. Enter Vincent Perez, architectural consultant hired in 2018 to upgrade airflow in Holmby Hills. He soon realized the job was part scavenger hunt, part spy movie. 3 subterranean tunnels, nicknamed rat runs by staff, linked the main residence to guest cottages and a rear exit opening behind manicured hedges. Perez resealed vents, added light strips, and at Combs' insistence installed sound-dampening foam, so you could yell and no one would hear. He was paid in cash. Then Monroe showed Perez a floor plan from sealed blueprints. His signature confirmed a wing labeled Mirror Hall. Walls paneled head to toe in smoked glass, crimson epoxy floors, ceiling rail with 360-degree gimbal mount. No furniture except a low bench. Asked what the rig was for, Perez shrugged. Only thing that fits is lights or cameras. Jury notebooks filled in unison. At trial, prosecutors displayed a second blueprint showing a biometric vault door to room R4 L&D. They argue L&D stands for lock and deep. Combs' internal slang for footage too risky to store on cloud. Defense says lifestyle and design. A visionary walkthrough for future art exhibits. Judge Reyes let the evidence stand. By now, the public had latched onto a darker phrase: Hollywood's catacombs. Bricks and blueprints are damning, but a single voicemail can chill blood faster. Prosecutors then cued a scratchy 2008 voicemail pulled from Wahlberg's decade-old Motorola. The voice, digitally masked yet unmistakable to Wahlberg, murmured, "You didn't see anything. Don't talk. It's just business. You know how this goes." Wahlberg swore it was Combs. Days later, tabloid blogs surfaced stories calling the actor difficult and dredged up his teenage assault record. Wahlberg turned down a co-production deal from a shell company later linked to Combs' holding group. Coincidence? Defense says yes. Wahlberg calls it a warning shot. His experience mirrors newer allegations. Former assistant Capricorn Clark testified Combs brandished a handgun and abducted her, twice, while plotting retribution against rapper Kid Cudi, whom Combs blamed for dating Cassie Ventura. Cudi told the jury his Porsche was firebombed weeks later. Prosecutors allege Combs orchestrated it. Defense denies. Yet the voicemail pattern, calm, cordial, lethal, now spans 2 decades of witness accounts. Threats silence people, but Department of Homeland Security indictments speak louder. The federal indictment, unsealed September 17, 2024, doesn't dwell on celebrity gossip. It paints an enterprise: sex trafficking, forced labor, narcotics distribution, bribery, obstruction. Prosecutors argue Combs didn't act alone. The star sat atop a shadow staff pyramid of fixers, drivers, recruiters, and tech admins. Inside that structure, tapes serve 2 functions: enticement and intimidation. Guests surrender phones but get filmed anyway. Handlers collect vices, blackmail vault fills. The RICO statute lets government bundle it all as one criminal conspiracy. Combs' defense counters every encounter was consensual, every payment a gift, every party a private event with thoroughly informed guests. On May 5, 2025, jury selection began. This week, Judge Reyes denied a defense motion for mistrial after Wahlberg's bombshell. In open court, Assistant U.S. Attorney Monroe summarized the stakes. This isn't about voyeurism. It's about long-term leverage, coercion hiding in plain sight. For public consumption, media shorthand is simpler. Hollywood on trial. With Combs in the dock, attention shifts to who knew and who might be next. Cassie Ventura, Combs' longtime partner until 2018, spent 4 days on the stand. Through tears, she alleged beatings, forced intimacy, and threats to gun alive her if she left. Her claims echo a 2023 civil lawsuit settled for undisclosed millions, material now introduced criminally to show pattern. Capricorn Clark added kidnapping and gun threats toward Kid Cudi. Cudi's testimony described Clark's frantic warning and Combs' chilling phone call. "I'm waiting on you." When Cudi's Porsche exploded outside his New Jersey home weeks later, he suspected Combs but lacked proof. Today, prosecutors present the blast as intimidation, part of the same racketeering web. Defense again rejects all ties. Outside court, other VIPs lawyer up. Studio chiefs weigh subpoena options. A-list publicists draft fallback statements. Because if Wahlberg, protected by decades of box office muscle, hid his tape until now, who among Combs' inner circle hoarded drives in safer deposit boxes? And how big is the vault labeled cold cases? The jury will eventually answer guilt or innocence. But the fallout has already begun. When court adjourned after Wahlberg's testimony, CNN Chiron screamed "Vault of Secrets Unsealed." Twitter Spaces buzzed with lawyers dissecting RICO subsections. Fashion houses distanced themselves from archival ad campaigns featuring Combs. A liquor giant paused distribution of his tequila brand. Kylie Jenner followed former assistant Samantha Knox on social media. An unspoken signal, pundits say, that silence is over. DHS agents armed with the Holmby Hills blueprints requested new warrants for Room R4L&D. Judge Race placed Wahlberg's drive in federal protective custody. Subpoenas went out for tunnel construction crews. Defense filed motions to exclude the term mirror wing as prejudicial. The judge hasn't ruled. Meanwhile, a question hovers like smog over Beverly Hills. What if the tapes involve not just wrongdoing but complicity? Artists, executives, influencers who watched The Velvet Show and said nothing. One anonymous A-lister reportedly contacted prosecutors to clarify a 2016 visit to Holmby Hills. The cynics say that's code for cutting a deal before their face emerges in discovery. As reporters awaited today's session, Monroe stepped to the microphones. "This trial is about rooms designed so nothing leaves. We intend to open every one." Translation: the prosecution thinks the tunnel still runs deeper, and the public for once can see the blueprint. Mark Wahlberg's flash drive may represent barely one byte in a data center of secrets, yet its existence proves a chilling point. Evidence never truly disappears, it just waits for the right moment and the right witness to surface. When Hollywood throws parties in catacombs lined with cameras, how many reputations hang from a single hard drive? If you'd bet not many. Remember, in 2008, Wahlberg walked out with one clip. 17 years later, the vault door cracked. How long until someone else swings it wide open? Stay tuned and keep your own cameras rolling. Because in a world where memories equal power, the smartest move might be never to let anyone else frame the shot.